Okay, what you're looking at is a broken spindle on a 255 Massey Ferguson tractor. The spindle, if you don't know what it is an arm that controls the steering. And this is where your hub assembly goes on this little short piece. The long piece goes into this shaft here, comes out the top, and is connected to this steering arm here. And that's what controls the steering for the tire on this side. Well, as you can see, it has failed. It broke right here at the very bottom. And I guess I had no inclination that there was a part that would fail, but it was in a hole. The wheel was turned to the side sharp. When I started backing up, there was no load on the front end loader, and it just snapped. So with no warning, I'm just glad that we didn't break anything else. And anyway, so let me kind of show you the spindle, the shaft here. It's got a keyhole, a moon key. It's a little half moon looking key. It's got slots in it right here. It's got little slots on either side, and I think you can put this shaft on left or right side because of these two slots right here. If you'll notice, right here on the head of it, there is a number, and that's your part number. And so I looked the part number up on it and found the spindle shaft that I needed for this particular machine. When you order your new shaft, it's gonna ask for measurements. The biggest measurement that I've seen, the variation is the length of this shaft right here, the long shaft, this shaft. And you'll need to measure this from the base to the top, which I think this one's 16 inches, because this one's the high clearance model of tractors. Some of them are 13, some of them are 10. So they're not all the same, and there's some of these that fit several different tractors. The bottom shaft is going to ask for measurement here, and the measurement on the bottom, very bottom down here, where it flattens out. So have those measurements in mind, and especially this one right here. Most of these are about the same on the bottom. The hub is a separate part, which it goes on. This slides right directly into your hub, just like this. This is where your wheel goes, slides on. Your wheel sits down here on the bottom like this. Then you have a bearing that goes in there, tapered, slides in. You have a washer, goes like that. Okay. Alright, you push that on down in there good and tight, and then you have a nut that screws on the outside. And I can't get it going here because of these slick grease and gloves. A lot of grease. I'm just kind of showing you how it goes back together, how it come apart. So this nut has slots in it, and there's a little hole in that bolt, and it's got a little pin. This pin goes through there. Once you get it nice and tight, not real tight, not loose, just good and snug. With a pair of pliers, just snug it up tight, stick that bolt through, or the little pin through. But the first thing is, when you put it back together, make sure you've got plenty of grease in there on this bearing, in this hub. Because this is not a greasable hub. This is a sealed hub. Doesn't have a grease fitting on the outside of it anywhere. So you've got to pack it full when you put her together. But your new spindle will come without a hub. You'll have to use your old hub unless you order a new one. But this piece, the way it come off, this steering arm here, as you can see, I showed you the spindle, the top of it, has a bolt in it. And that bolt comes through the little slot that you see here on the spindle, on the top right here, to help hold it in place. There's also a keyhole, if you can see that right here, that you have to line up your little moon key in. You put all that in there, and make sure you got it lined up, because it's got to be lined up straight with the other side. And that's how it does it. So it'll have to come in from the bottom, so you have to have enough clearance, jack it up with enough clearance to slide this in from the bottom, and then connect this up at the top. Just trying to think if I missed anything here. But this is probably not a very hard job. Level of difficulty, I'd say it's, maybe a 5 or 6. The biggest thing is being safe. This front end of this tractor, the weight of it, the front end loader, the conditions, the soil conditions that you're in, softness, all those things can add up to you getting hurt. And that's the thing that you don't want. Out of all of this, if you feel unsafe with it or don't feel like you can do it, don't do it. But anyway, this bolt will have to come out when you put your new shaft in. And once you get your new shaft lined up with the key and everything, you can put this bolt back into place and let her stay there. And then once you get her back into place, you can pump your grease fit in here, pump it full of grease. When you put this tube in, initially, when you put the spindle back on, you want to probably put some grease around it to help it slide through from the bottom to the top till it comes back out at the top, and then go from there. But I hope someone is watching and sees this and sees that it's not really as difficult as it may look. But be safe and be careful, mind the conditions, and don't get hurt. It's not worth it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.